Woohoo!
A
Hello,
whole day
hello.
early. Because Sydney was just so excited to talk about what happened this week that she was ready to do it a whole day early.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
More like get it over with so I don't have to think about it again.
Flush it, and move on.
Yeah.
If you would have told me after the Miami loss that we would go into Alabama fighting for the top of the West, what? I don't.
Number 2.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I've seen some models that have A&M as like a 3 or 4 point favorite over Bama.
Yeah, I'm not buying into any of that because then it first ruins my cautiously optimistic self. And two, I just can't get too excited because then it hurts more.
You did pick Alabama. No, you picked A&M.
I did.
Yeah.
Of course I
All the
did.
way through.
I picked A&M to go 11-1 to lose the SEC West to LSU in the last week.
Yeah.
Because that's how A&M works.
Right.
So, is Friend okay that got carted off? Do you know?
Yes, he might be able to play on Saturday. I think it's just I don't know what exactly happened. I don't think they really released, but they said he's been okay and might be
He
able.
basically collapsed.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
after the play, he got up, walked a couple steps, and just
Fell out. Yeah, they didn't say like what type of injury happened or really what happened at the hospital, but he was alert and awake before they got to the hospital, so I don't know.
Well, that's good.
No concussion or anything like that either.
Weird.
Very
I'm
weird.
sure Twitter was rampant with speculation.
He's dead.
Probably. Yeah.
He did. I was at the game, and you could hear this girl behind us literally was going, "Is he dead?" And I was like,
That's
"No,
what I
he's
said.
not dead."
I was like, what just happened? Because I didn't see what happened. I was looking away, and then I look up, and I just saw them, like, rip off his jersey and pads, and I was like, whoa. And then they cut to the broadcast, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know.
Oh, Mitch has arrived.
Hello, Mitch. Apparently, it was a head injury. I know that's what CBS Sports and Sports Illustrated say. I didn't. This is literally the first time I'm even hearing about it. So apparently, his head snapped back on contact, and I guess it was like a whiplash type of thing.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Friend Vegas is not here because he said, and I quote, that his wife and his girls are having a Mean Girls party because it's October 3rd. So he's on little man duty. And what else would you do on October 3rd?
Next year,
right.
Next year we'll have Mean Girl Day on a Wednesday, and we can wear pink.
Ooh.
Yes. So smart.
365 days ahead of time. 366, right? Next year's a leap year.
Oh, gosh.
I got it all up here. Just don't worry. It's all up here. I don't have a hat on today, so the brain's on full display.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know if you already showed that because I was watching the video of the Arkansas player, but
I did, but it's okay. We can say
we'll show it again. What's up, Mitch?
Yo. Mitch, yo.
Double the love.
Yes, poor Sydney had to walk the plank twice for the Patriots and the Razorbacks.
Yeah, back to back. Now I'm really glad I didn't go to Dallas. Couldn't be happier.
I'm so glad I didn't spend the weekend with Shelbie.
Yeah. Thank God.
Like, I love you, but no.
Yeah, tough scene over here.
Also, I don't know if you actually, I don't know have you watched the entire game, but we definitely scored on that last play.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably twice, actually. I think we scored on 3rd and 4th down.
Yeah.
But, it's fine.
And then what was it, the punt return or kickoff return?
The fumble that wasn't your ball.
Yeah. I was like, what?
Like, there
Everything
was
was being
literally
handed to
none
us
on
on a
your
silver
shoulder.
platter. Like, here, please do something. Can't do anything.
Nothing.
None.
Absolutely nothing. When you run, whatever that play was that you decided to run on 4th and 1, that was the end of it.
That happened against BYU also.
Like, you have a, 230-pound quarterback? Just go straight.
Yeah. Like 250 pounds now.
AJ, just go.
That's insane.
Except he kept trying to just go, and our defense was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of them.
We don't have an offensive line. We don't know what that is. They're moving like the whole line around this week.
Which is crazy. How does
You
Sam
would
Pittman
think.
not have an? So my theory, and I'm sorry, Sydney, you may not like this theory.
I don't care. It's fine.
I think that Billy Napier is going to get Shane Beamer fired and Sam Pittman fired, and then hire both of them. I think that Shane Beamer is going to be our special teams coach.
I don't think
and Sam
Sam
Pittman's
takes the
going to be
job
our.
after once he gets fired.
You think he's going to retire? I mean, that's the more logical and likely
He wants to
scenario.
retire at his big old lake house on Lake Hamilton in Arkansas.
The video that he had recently where he was talking to the punter about the social media criticism, that's honestly been one of my favorite videos of the football season so far. Like that really made me like Sam Pittman even more, and he's a very likable coach.
Yeah.
No, he's not coming back to Ugga.
Yeah, hog Twitter is not a pleasant place to be. It's crazy.
Gator Twitter is also not a welcoming place to be.
The
A&M Twitter is trying to convince Ross Bajork to bring back power instead of whatever our intro is now.
The offensive coordinator's blocking everybody on Twitter. He's emailing people back.
I saw the email thing. I didn't know if it was fake or not, so I didn't send it into our chat. But I saw it, and I was just like,
I think it's real.
It looked real.
Coach's wife is attacking people after when she's been here for like 7 months. It's a scary place to be.
I'm sensing a trend here that social media is a cesspool.
It is.
I think that's the takeaway here is that Twitter is garbage.
Everybody needs to get off of social media.
We had fans wanting to fire coaches in April of last year because recruits didn't commit to us. Now, never mind. So the one in particular is Jay Bateman. And if you look at the ranking of best recruiters in the country, Jay Bateman is currently like second or third. And he's our linebackers coach, and we have 3 of the top 10 linebackers committed to us now. In April of last year, at least half of the vocal Gator Nation on social media wanted to fire him before he had ever even coached a single game over recruiting. And now he's one of the best recruiters in the country. And it's like, when will y'all just shut the fuck up? Like, that's what I just want to yell at all of the social media people. It's like, just stop. Like, give people a chance for once.
Oh, yeah, no. Just jump straight to conclusions. No chances.
Yeah. No chances. All conclusions.
I know more than all of these people. Trust me, bro. Fire them all. It's like, okay.
Yep.
It's a $30 million decision, but I'm sure that you're qualified to make it.
I'd really like to have to eat my words about leaving DJ Durkin on the tarmac in Miami, but I'm holding out until the end of this week. Or the end of next week. Because we got to play Bama, and then we got to go to Tennessee. So if we're still like averaging 7 sacks an SEC game, sure. Stay as long as you want.
Do you know how many sacks they ended up with? Yeah, I know it was 8 in like the fourth quarter.
May have been 9.
Speaking of sacks, did you guys see what the Seahawks did to the Giants yesterday?
I did not.
I saw the score. I'm so happy about it.
Seahawks had 11 sacks on the Giants yesterday.
But Dak Prescott's fault. Don't let anyone tell you it's not.
The fun tidbit for me, I was actually beating somebody in fantasy football by 15 points going into the game last night. And I proceeded to lose by 15 points because the Seahawks defense not only got 11 sacks, they had a fumble recovery and a pick six. So they put up 29 points on ESPN fantasy football. And
Cowboys defense.
Look at you. Good job. Yeah. In that league, I have Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, and Mike Williams.
Oh,
so if you,
wow!
I'm currently 0-4. Unsurprisingly, that was my first chance to get a win on the season.
What a trio!
And I ran into the Seahawks defense putting up 30 points. So
I am still in the camp of the best college football team should have to play the worst NFL team and see what happens.
Didn't they used to do that? They used to do that, right? There used to be an all-star game of the like in the 40s or 50s to where the college team would play the professional team. There's something like that.
I'm still mad the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals after the Giants beat them.
The Giants are so bad.
Like I was watching that game, and after the pick six, I was like, I can't. Like I just needed you guys to not put up a shit ton of points, and you guys had a Legion of Boom type performance, and I just turned it off, just walked away. I gave up on the Giants.
So did the Giants.
Yeah, it's true.
The Giants gave up on the Giants when they lost to the Cowboys 40-0 in week 1.
Poor Saquon Barkley, though.
Honestly.
Yeah. Imagine being one of 3 to 5 best people at your position in the world, and you have to watch not just everybody around you be awful, but somebody directly in front of you be awful while also making like 5 times your salary. Like Daniel Jones making $40 million a year while Saquon Barkley like gets like $8 million a year. Like I would lose it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
It's really rough.
It makes me wonder what we're going to have to pay Dak when it comes time. If Daniel Jones is worth $40 million.
So I've actually read this thing, and this is probably not related to SEC football too much, but I read that really NFL quarterbacks are still being paid under market value for what their value actually is for a team's success. Like a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow, like the top Jalen Hurts, like those quarterbacks provide so much more value to a team than what they're even being paid still. So I mean, there's a possibility that it levels off, but there's also the possibility that they go up to like $60 to $70 million a year, which is what their value. Like if you, I'm trying to remember the it's like a percentage of the salary cap is the quarterback already accounts for like 30% of the salary cap on most teams or something like that. But in terms of like wins provided or wins added from having an elite quarterback, it should be like 50 to 60% of the salary cap.
We're going to have to give Micah Parsons the team, so.
Jerry Jones just hands the key to Cowboy Stadium over to Micah Parsons.
It's going to be literally Von Miller interviewed him and he said when it comes time to be paying you, it's going to their team is going to be the Fighting Micah Parsonses. Like
could be worse.
Literally somebody said like they posted a picture of him getting held by 3 different players at once. And like, what is your fight for being the MVP? And he's like 3 people. 3. Anyway, should we visit Florida and Kentucky, or do you just want to hide from it?
I mean, I will take it on the chin just like Kentucky gave it to us on the chin. Once again, this has been the 4th instance in the past 8 games. So 50% of our last 8 games. Going back to Vandy of last year, Oregon State in the bowl game, Utah to start the game or the season, and now Kentucky. With the exception of the FSU game in Tallahassee last year, every single time we go and play outside of the swamp, we start off the game as if nobody in our team has ever actually played the game of football. It's a really bold strategy by the coaching staff and by the players to wait until you're down 3 touchdowns to realize the game has started. It's like Ray Davis turned into Walter Payton in before my eyes. Like I had flashbacks to the 2021 LSU game where Ty Davis Price rushed for 350 yards on the same fucking play the entire game. Like, hey guys, we're gonna run a GT trap here. The guard and tackle, they're just gonna pull right around and fucking smash your D line apart. Yep, and we're just gonna keep running it. Don't care. And they just did it. And like the whole time you're watching, you're like, Todd Grantham, please, they're going to run this play. Like, hey, it's the same formation. They've run it 11 times already for 250 yards. I'm choking up. Hold on.
Can't talk about it.
I can't. That's how much it hurts me. But same kind. I mean, Ray Davis. I mean, hats off to that kid. Like he killed us last year at Vandy, killed us this year with Kentucky. I mean, I'm not crying because my team lost. I'm crying because whatever the hell that was, it just came up out of my throat. Like, but they punched us in the mouth. Kentucky every year since that. We had a 31 game winning streak over Kentucky, the longest in SEC
We
history.
did talk about that last week.
And since it's ended, we have lost 4 out of 6 games.
Proud of you.
I mean, I got nothing. Kentucky has made it a point to whoop our ass. They're the dirtiest team in the SEC. They didn't need to be dirty this weekend. Cash Thomas, you guys are in the West, so you don't deal with it as often. Kentucky is they cheap shot you, they cut you, they literally will try to twist your players' ankles in the bottoms of piles. They are the dirtiest team in the league, but they're also physical. Like they also come out and punch you in the mouth. I know Mitch is a big Mark Stoops supporter, big Blue Nation supporter. He's going to get to deal with it this weekend. Watch the game this weekend, and you'll see at least one instance of a Kentucky player hitting somebody low, fucking jumping on, like elbow pile driving somebody onto the on the bottom of a pile. Like the whistle's gonna blow, and then a lineman just comes out of nowhere and decks somebody. You're just like, wow, is this gonna be called? Like, oh, and then they'll get a penalty for it once or something. Like it happens every year. I'm telling y'all. Kentucky is the dirtiest, cheapest team in the league. The win this weekend didn't require any of it. Like they beat us straight up. I can't sugarcoat it. We looked awful. But fuck Kentucky. That's my assessment. That's my analysis. We flush it and move on.
10-2 until you ain't.
10-2 till we ain't. There you go. I mean, I'm looking at the spreadsheet. I mean, I was higher on Arkansas and Florida than I probably should have been. And so far, that's looking wrong. But, but also, Sydney, you're 2-3. So
In the spreadsheet?
No,
Oh, no,
I'm talking about Arkansas in real life.
Wait, what?
What's worse?
What does that even
For the
mean?
spreadsheet.
I gotta go find the spreadsheet.
I haven't
That's
pulled
what I
it
was in
up.
the middle of doing. That's what was the first thing popping up in my head.
We need to.
In the spreadsheet.
There is a
I gotta go
weekly
see how I'm
records
doing over here.
column that none of us have filled out yet. So we probably that would probably be a good thing for us to do before next week to go and.
Our friend Game Day Warrior keeps up with all of that. We just don't. He just doesn't give it to us because he likes to be secretive about who's winning.
Well, it's certainly not me.
It's never you.
I will die on that. It will be a cold day in hell before you see me pick against my own team.
All right. So, okay, I have two comments on all three comments on A&M and Arkansas. One, we scored twice in that last possession that should have counted. Two, Arkansas had 0 penalties, and that's some bullshit.
That's wild.
That's some bullshit. And three, I don't remember what number 3 was. So there you go.
Perfect.
I mean, no penalties is pretty good.
Literally, there's no fucking way y'all had 0 penalties. That's some bullshit. Like, how do you go from being the most penalized team in the league to nothing?
No idea.
So the FSU Boston College game a couple of weeks ago that FSU squeaked by, Boston College had like 17 penalties at home against FSU. FSU had 0 until the fourth quarter. And the whole time you're watching it, you're like, wow, these ACC refs are making damn sure that FSU gets every chance to pull this one out so that their playoff shot doesn't get ruined. I keep thinking you have a slinky and then you put it in your mouth, and it's so confusing to me. I think you're like playing with a slinky, and then you're just like, oh.
Okay. Magical.
Love sour strips.
So, can we talk about Georgia and Auburn for a second? What the fuck? I wanted Auburn to pull that out so bad. Sorry, Mitch. But Peyton Thorne again is still booty butt.
I'm wrong a lot, but I am not wrong about Peyton Thorne sucking. Like, I'm actually fairly objective and decently okay at assessing other players as long as they're not wearing orange and blue, or as long as they're not wearing my shade of orange and blue.
I was about to say,
Wait a minute.
No, it's even if you're like your shade of orange and blue, their shade of orange and blue, it doesn't matter. You're not objective. I've learned.
Sure I am. Just not when it comes to Florida State, Georgia, Miami, Tennessee. That's pretty much it. Aside from those teams, I can be objective.
The crowd at Kyle Field.
What?
The crowd at Kyle Field.
That was some bullshit. That was some bioterrorism, Shelby, and you know it. The Auburn game reminded me of the Missouri game last year, that Georgia had, to where it really wasn't that close, but because Georgia decided that they could turn the ball over and be careless, it flipped the game on its head, and it let a team that really had no business stick around. And that's the thing that always kills me when people talk about football and talk about sports in general, is that every year, every good team has an instance of those games happening to where it's an oblong ball that bounces oddly and crazy shit can happen. And even the most talented teams, most well-coached teams, sometimes the quarterback throws it a foot too short and it gets tipped and it's a pick six. Sometimes crazy shit happens and people act like it's just impossible. And then you watch Peyton Thorne had like 60 passing yards. Like Auburn as a team had 60 passing yards. Like that was just because Auburn got turnovers and was able to control the clock is why it was even close at all. But Georgia's on notice.
To watch the game. I just happened to see the score and was like, what's happening right now?
I watched a lot of that game because that's one of the beauties of your game starting at 11 a.m. You just rip the Band-Aid off, and then you just get to be miserable all day and just root for everybody else to be miserable too. Just like, fuck it, my team's not going to win today. I hope your team doesn't win either.
Because I can't have nice things, neither can you.
Exactly.
That is literally A&M mantra when it comes to like our rivalry games. It's like, like LSU last year, we were 4-7 going into that game. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. We can't have nice things, neither can you. So we decided to win that game.
That's how we were against Ole Miss last year.
Like, just no, you can't have nice things. And then there's Missouri, who's still undefeated.
Missouri and Kentucky.
I mean, Missouri, okay. Kentucky beat us. Missouri, we're going to beat Missouri. But besides Kansas State and Florida are the only two teams with a pulse either of those teams have played through 10 games total.
I say Missouri plays LSU this week, so.
Right. Like that, it's the same thing. It's kind of the inverse of what's happened to Tennessee for the past 20 years, to where Tennessee, the first 6 games of Tennessee season, they'll have Florida, Bama, Georgia, and then whoever else they may have scheduled, and then they might be like 2-4, 3-3, whatever. And then the last half of their season, they have like a Cupcake, Vandy, Mizzou, whatever, and then they might go like 5-1. And then all off season, you hear about how Tennessee's back, and this is their year. And then aside from last year, they always just fall flat on their face. Mizzou sucks. That's my assessment of Mizzou.
Worse or better than Auburn?
Better.
Okay.
Brady Cook is better than Peyton Thorne. I think Hugh Freeze is a better coach than Drinkwitz, but I think Harsin really left them in a pretty big mess. And I know the narrative right now is that you can just flip a team with the transfer portal, because TCU went to the national championship last year and Colorado beat TCU this year. You can do it. I just don't believe that it's, I think in the SEC, it doesn't work like that. Like, the teams you go up against are way too talented every week to flip a roster like that and be competitive immediately. And that's what Auburn tried to do. And they're going to need a couple of recruiting classes, which, I mean, they certainly have some good guys coming in. And we know Hugh Freeze is not afraid to bend the rules to get some talent onto his team. But I don't believe in Auburn.
Should have kept Zach Calzada.
What could have been? Yeah, Mizzou's defense has been. It's weird because the Gary Pinkel days, they were like known for their offense, and then the Barry Odom days, it was like they just kind of were mid all around. And then early on, Eli's an offensive guy, but early on they were kind of mid. But the past 3 years or so, Missouri's defense has just been a pain in the ass.
Now,
and their offense is boring, but
yes,
it's good enough.
Speaking of kickers, now I remember what number 3 was. Your punter needs to eat some cupcakes or something.
Yeah, he's
it is like guy. This big around.
He's a tiny guy from Australia.
Ours is from Australia too, but he doesn't look like that.
Ooh.
So is ours. 12 out of 14 punters in the SEC are from Australia.
That's wild.
Yeah, and they can't get NIL.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I had to explain to my sorority big, who was at the game with me, why teams punt.
Oh my.
She goes, "What is the point of punting?"
Should have said, "I don't know."
Holly, what? She goes, "What is the point of punting?" And I had to explain, and she goes, "That makes more sense now." I was like, I mean, do you want to just give them the ball on your 20-yard line?
That's funny. My high school never punted.
Did you go to the school with that coach?
Yep.
Nice. The A11 guy. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yep. Kevin Kelly.
With that coach.
She knew who I was talking about. No, he never
he's been on like HBO and stuff, and then he left and went to Presbyterian College for a year and tried it, and now he's back here.
I just thought the way he said it was funny. The school with that coach.
Yep.
And he had like crazy formations to where like everybody would be eligible and like would never punt. like all that stuff. Yeah, see, Mitch knows what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I couldn't remember his name, but
Awesome.
yeah, and I knew he's from Arkansas. That was the only thing that I knew about it was
Yeah.
Arkansas is an interesting place because you have like Gus Malzahn. Um, there's been a few coaches who have come from
Mike Norvell went
Arkansas.
to UCA here in Arkansas.
Yeah. God, have you seen the picture of Mike Norvell with his cornrows when he was at
Yes.
UCA?
Yeah. Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
I'm sure Jerry Jones is getting real sick of providing the trophy to the Aggies.
Oh yeah.
Like
He
he's
said that
over
in
it.
the handshake. to
Did he?
Jimbo.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Maybe
cool.
his team should win more then.
That's true.
Like if you got
Maybe
all
we
the
should
money
buy
in
better
Arkansas to buy recruits.
things. Yeah.
Some Arkansas fan was in my mentions and they literally said, "How is it that A&M keeps beating us?" And he had been tweeting about how A&M bought their recruiting class and this, that, and the other. And I was like, "We bought better recruits than you did."
Yeah. There you go.
And he goes,
Ugh.
"So you admit it?" And I was like, "No, it was a joke." But okay. Like, okay, calm down. Let's see. LSU and Ole Miss. Neither of those teams played defense this weekend.
No, neither.
This is the second highest total of points that LSU has had in a loss. I wonder what the first one would be.
Drum roll.
Seven
Ole Miss.
No, that would be 7 overtimes against A&M.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't that game like 70-77 or something like that?
74-72. Came down to the 2-point conversion.
Oh, what I was thinking of the amount of yards of offense.
No, points
That
and
was LSU had a crazy amount of they broke their record for yards of offense and their last record was against Ole Miss.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Does it
Still
count
counts.
as a OT? Yes. Let me have this. Let's see. South Carolina thinks Tennessee is their Tennessee's Super Bowl. That was fucking hilarious.
Man,
Spencer Rattler needs to shut his mouth.
Yeah.
this is another one where Sydney doesn't have to deal with it as much as you and I do, Shelby. South Carolina fans, like the guy that we had on last year after they beat Tennessee, like he's awesome. He was a nice guy and
Oh
everything.
yeah, game day's great.
Holy shit, y'all. Those fans have to be the most delusional.
He said
Like,
you wanted to
just-
offer to win, you get nothing.
They have to be the most delusional fan base I have ever encountered. Like, and this is coming from somebody who interacts with Florida State and Miami fans on the rag. Like, South Carolina fans have literally never won anything. Anything. Their in-state rival has been one of the 3 best programs in the country the past 10 years, maybe top 5, whatever. And they are still convinced that they are Florida Super Bowl, Tennessee Super Bowl, Texas A&M's rival. Like, none of these teams give a shit about South Carolina.
No,
I
Like,
hate when
none.
people say the Super Bowl thing.
Me too, man. It's so annoying. But no, Clemson maybe is the only team that actually cares about South Carolina, like with a passion. Everybody else is
that
just
is
like,
my
yeah,
most bitter rival. What are you talking about?
yeah, like that. That's they think that like everybody hates South Carolina, and really, when South Carolina wins, people are just like, wow, I didn't know they could win. Like, yeah, like they have more ACC titles than they do SEC titles. Like, just irrelevant. They are an irrelevant program with an empty trophy case. Like they have women's basketball,
And
sometimes baseball.
you can't disrespect that. They do have that.
I mean, LSU has it now. I mean, like,
Still can't
know,
stand LSU's basketball coach. Kim Mulkey, can't stand her.
that's just your hatred for Baylor.
No, has nothing to do with Baylor.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Baylor.
Person.
She's not a great person.
I mean, I have no strong opinions one way or the other because I don't know these assertions that you're making, but fuck Kim Mulkey. I support y'all.
Sorry, Rebel. The cat is laying next to me, and she's like, "Why are we clapping? Please stop." Oh my lord. Okay. Oh, I closed it out. Alabama beat Mississippi State. And Nick Saban looks angry, which scares me.
The one prediction I seem to be tracking on is Mississippi State being pretty bad. Like, I know that's not necessarily a bold prediction or anything, but I did have them going 4-8, and it looks like that might be generous. Like, I had them upsetting Ole Miss at the end of the year, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. Zach Arnett's kind of doing the same thing that Will Muschamp did, and Billy Napier's kind of doing, to where you take over a roster that's designed for one style of football, and then you just say, I'm going to do something that's diametric. Like Luke Fickell at Wisconsin's kind of dealing with it now, to where you take over a power team and then you go to a spread. Like, it takes time to get the pieces in place to make that work. And Zach Arnett is in the SEC. He's not in the Big Ten. And I don't know if he's going to get the time he needs to actually build a team that's bowl eligible.
I don't know.
They're Mississippi State. Who cares?
Oh, I was what? Well, you were talking about Miami earlier, and I was wondering where her friend was.
Look at that. Hello, Adrian.
Gang's all here.
That we are here. We got a comment section that's popping. We got Mitch. We got Adrian. It's a good night.
Oh, you weren't here last week, Ethan, for me to tell you that my little's now fiance watches our show.
Nice. I actually, I don't know if one of my team members is watching. I gave him the link to our show, and I told him, I was like, hey, it's not kid friendly. Like don't hold it against me when you hear how much I cuss on my show. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'm an adult, so I don't care. I was like, okay, cool.
Just checking.
Here's the link.
We're funny. Sometimes. All right, next week on Saturday, we start with LSU at Missouri.
I mean, that one's I think LSU is going to finally put an end to the fighting Drinkwitzes.
The fighting Drinkwitzes. Okay.
Ooh, and this is the most magical time of the year, y'all. Tomorrow starts Football Wednesdays. Starting tomorrow, we have football Tuesday through Monday, or Wednesday through Mondays, and we only have Tuesdays to recuperate.
I didn't see that.
No, we just I'm not going to use the term I would normally use here. We're just doing it straight up. No spread.
No spread. I've got LSU, but if Missouri wins this game,
LSU fans think they're at rock bottom right now. I don't know why they keep saying that. They won the West last year. They lost in an offensive crazy shootout. Like, they're fine. But they say that they're at rock bottom because their defense was non-existent last weekend. But I think they're going to be fine.
Why are there Wednesday night games?
Because why not? I mean, who do you really want Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee and Florida International at New Mexico State competing really with any other game? Like, is anybody going to watch either of those games if there's really any other football on? Like, can you guys name a single player from any four of those teams?
No.
New Mexico State. I don't even know if it's
just peed on New Mexico's practice field logo.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's New Mexico or New Mexico State, but one of them has the guy from Clemson. Tuasobo phenomenon.
It's not New Mexico.
So maybe it's New Mexico. So that's the one, and that's only because New Mexico State played UMass earlier this year in like week 0, and I was forced to watch that because there was no other football on TV. Yeah, I think that's dramatic. I think Saban and now Kirby are breaking people's perspective on what constitutes any modicum of success. And I think the lack of parity in college football has made it to where people are like, I have to be 12-0 or else my season's over. Yeah. And like, I get it. I think a 12-team playoff is going to help smooth that a little bit, just because people aren't going to feel like their season's over when they lose a game, which is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like, I think the playoff has shown that a one-loss team, Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, even, like, they can still win a national title. And for the history of college football, that, or at least the BCS era, that really wasn't a thing. And I think the 12-team playoff is going to show, hey, you can lose 2 games and still be the best team in the nation. You know, like, especially if you lose like an opener. You know, like, teams come out flat sometimes in their first game of the year. Like Ohio State in 2014 lost to a really bad Virginia Tech team in the second game of the year, and then goes on to win the playoffs with their third string quarterback. I mean, sometimes teams just need a little bit of time. And I think that it's going to help calm the chaos, at least until the end of the year. Like, I think you're going to stop seeing so many dramatic takes after week 1. I hope, at least. God damn, y'all. It's brutal being a Florida, like, seeing Florida fans act like they're literally going to die because you lose and everything. Like LSU fans acting like there's no point in even being a fan anymore because they're 3-2. And you're like, you guys might end up the season 11-2. Like, next year you would be a playoff team. Like, you guys are still pretty good. Like, calm the hell down.
Yeah.
Like, take a chillaxative.
Guy that does the SEC recap was like talking about where Auburn is on the like optimism scale for coaching. Like, and this is us down here. We're in rock bottom. It's not funny anymore. I was like, oh, Arkansas.
Yeah.
3 SEC teams will make the playoffs. Adrian, which 3?
I think he means with the 12-team playoff.
Okay, I was like, this year? What?
I think it's a given that 3 SEC teams will make the 12 teams playoff.
Let's go, Mizzou.
I mean, I'm here for it. I think LSU's going to wax them, but at this point, I'm hoping the best case scenario for me is a repeat of 2007, to where all hell breaks loose. We have a 2-loss national champion, hopefully not LSU, but you know, a 2-loss national champion. Week 12, we have a number 1 team get upset by West Virginia. Or no, it wasn't West Virginia. Who was it? Who upset West Virginia? Was it Iowa State? My brain's foggy. But yeah, you know, just throw a whole ball of chaos into the mix and see what happens. Just let it all burn.
I'm trying to find a special tweet just for you. There's a
0% chance that if there's no way on earth that would ever happen. LSU already has 2 losses. Also, it's impossible for LSU and Bama to win out because they still have to play each other. So one of those teams will have 2 losses, and one of those teams may have 3 losses. I mean, I think if Bama wins out and beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, I mean, I think Bama and Georgia should. It really kind of depends, I guess. Like, I don't know. I think that there's a chance that there's an undefeated Pac-12, Big Ten, and ACC team, and in that maybe even a Big 12 team. I mean, there is a scenario to where the SEC gets left out. I mean, I think that you could make a
I agree with
case.
that.
Like, I think you could see Michigan, Ohio State, USC, and Texas or Oklahoma. I mean, right now, I think there's 8 to 10 teams that have a legitimate argument to be in the top 4. And as the season progresses, it's going to be, does FSU trip up to a team they shouldn't lose to? Does Miami and FSU have to face off? Like, that's going to be a pretty big thing in the ACC. Does North Carolina keep it coming? Does Texas and Oklahoma keep rolling? I think there's a lot of angles to where I could theoretically see 0 SEC teams this year.
And Red River is this weekend. If y'all didn't know anything,
Mhm.
it should be a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Miami's arrived. I'm just saying you're undefeated. Like, Fresno State's undefeated too. Like, it doesn't mean that it's just as the season plays out, Missouri's undefeated, right? Like, you don't, we're 10-2 until we're not. They're undefeated until they aren't. Like, I feel like people get so gung ho to have a take and have an opinion and have a stance on stuff that it's impossible just to let shit play out now. Like, everybody has to be the first one to tweet out an opinion, and it's like just let them play the game. Like last year, it was easy to look and see 3, 4 really, really good teams. This year, I don't know. Like, no team looks great. Like, Oklahoma looks great, Texas looks great, but they have to play each other. Like, Michigan and Ohio State look pretty good, but they have to play each other. After that, it's kind of like USC has no defense. Georgia's all over the place. Like, Bama's all over the place, has no offense. Like, who knows what the hell's going to happen? I'm here for it. Chaos. Burn it all down.
There is a tweet, and I'm gonna find it and send it to you, that literally lists how bad Florida has been since the shoe toss.
Oh, you don't have to, Shelby. Why? Number one, we're over here talking about actual college football stuff, and you're over here trying to find a tweet that talks about how bad we've been since COVID. Like, that was 3 years ago, Shelby.
Yeah, and you've been shit.
You missed a bowl last year. Don't bring that shit into my house. What? Get out of here. Jimbo has a worse record than damn Kevin Sumlin. Don't talk about we been shit. Get out of here. Penn State, I forgot about Penn State.
All right. Let's see. So we all picking LSU on that note?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mississippi State plays Western Michigan if they don't win this game, but I don't know what to tell you. Hey, now, you don't get to talk shit if you can't spell my name.
Ooh. See, I told you, Shelby. This is what happens when you interact with Miami fans. Typos, and then they start talking shit, even though you whooped them last year. See, you even got Georgia fans. Why'd that one go down? No, leave that one up there for a second, Shelby.
You press show and I press show at the same time. I just try to hide shit.
Likely story.
I don't try to hide shit. That was country. Oh my god. Oh Lord. Okay.
Why don't we ever start in order? Why do we always just start in... What's the direction that we start with these picks?
I'm going down the list on time-wise.
Ah, that does make sense. Okay. I'm with you here now. I'm following along.
Okay, that's funny. I'll give you that.
I was looking at the spreadsheet trying to figure out, like, what order. Ooh.
I'll give him that. That one's funny.
Zing pow.
That's funny. I'll give you that. Let's see. A&M and Bama. I'd like to hear it.
Bama.
That one's easy. Bama.
Really?
Yeah, you talking all this shit. You think I'm going to give you? You think I'm going to pick your team?
You're making it. You saying it's easy.
17. 34-17.
Ouch.
I think Max Johnson's he's in for a rude awakening. I heard this thing, they were talking about it on the radio, and they were talking about how when
Thanks,
a
Mitch.
backup quarterback comes in the middle of a game and looks pretty good, and then maybe they win the game, whatever. But then the next game, they almost always have a letdown. That didn't happen this week, but I do think that's going to happen. I think Max Johnson's going to have some picks, and I think it's going to be
Final score.
12-10. That's nasty. But yeah, I think Max Johnson's going to have a letdown game.
What you got against Max?
His dad went to FSU.
That's fair.
He went to LSU. I don't know. I mean, that's good enough for me. I'm left-handed. He's left-handed. You'd think I'd like him, but that doesn't win out when you have those things going against you.
Like FSU. Got it. Jason Witten was at the Arkansas game.
Oh, we all saw.
Got real excited.
They showed Brad Johnson and Jason Witten 72 times.
Oh, see, I only saw him once.
Yeah.
So I've got the Aggies still. I feel good about our defense and where our defense is, and I remember that we almost beat this Alabama team with Jalen Milroe last year, and we were shit last year. So, and now we're at Kyle. We've got the noise on our side. I feel good. I'm not like guaranteeing it, but I feel good.
I heard you're guaranteeing it. So
Is that what you said? Is that what
I heard I'm guaranteeing it. So
I definitely said not guaranteeing it, but okay. Because I have bad Aggie syndrome, and I know I can't guarantee shit. Except for maybe a win over Arkansas.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Just unnecessary.
And maybe South Carolina. Let's see. Vandy in Florida. Ethan.
It's a blowout. It's a wrap.
Didn't we say that last year?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I haven't felt good about a Florida game. I remember sitting down on my couch and telling my wife we had just beaten Texas A&M handily in Kyle Field, multiple touchdowns, beat the shit out of them. We whooped South Carolina the week before, and we were kind of on the verge of having that like first year, like first half of the season you kind of struggle, second half you kind of get it going, and it was like, okay, here we go, we're about to roll, go into the season with some momentum. Let's get this year one wrapped up. And I remember telling my wife, like, I'm just gonna watch the first half. I'll probably have them blown out, then I'll do some laundry, whatever. And then the game did not go like that, and I'm just like, oh man, really? So ever since that game, I just have not felt good. We get them in the swamp this year. We've been pretty good at home. We've really kind of struggled on the road. I think we're going to have some revenge. I think we're going to really try and make a statement after the Kentucky game last week and the embarrassing Vandy game last year. I think we're going to win this one going away.
All right. Okay.
I got Florida easy.
I do too. I just wanted to see Ethan's thoughts.
Don't message me either. If it's like 14-14 like at halftime, do not message me. No, y'all just mute me because I'm gonna be going through it. All right. Y'all better hope it's 28-0 and I can get like hammered like I did against Tennessee and have a good time. Because if not, I'm just gonna log off of everything.
Okay.
Let's just notice that he didn't say 28-0 Florida.
Oh, if it's 28-0 Vandy, no, y'all do message me. If it's 28-0 Vandy, y'all message me because I'm gonna have a lot to say.
Someone's getting fired.
Somebody, we'll have to do screenshots and put it on next week's show if it's 28-0 Vandy.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Kentucky and Georgia.
Georgia.
That's funny. He's like the only Auburn fan that I used to work with an Auburn fan, but he was also a Troy fan. Like his whole family was from Auburn, but he went to Troy, and so he kind of had this weird allegiance thing. But every time I would try and talk shit about Auburn, he would just deflect it and be like, "Oh, I'm a Troy fan." Adrian, you're already almost bald. I pull this off, okay? I don't know if you can pull this off.
And he likes Auburn.
He is a good dude, but
True. Sydney doesn't know that person, but it's okay.
True.
I looked this up, and I believe Auburn is the least diverse Power 5 school in the country.
I think you're right.
81.5% of their student population is white.
Yeah, well, you walk
You know
around
what?
that won't shock you.
You know what non-religious school has the highest Jewish population? University of Florida.
Do it for the Jews.
She said it, not me, internet. That was cancel Shelbie. Wait. I'll get it right eventually.
I'm being supportive of the Jewish community, okay? Just leave me alone. Anyway, Kentucky and Georgia, we all picking Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we were going against the spread, I think I'd probably pick Kentucky to cover, but I think Georgia's gonna handle them. Kentucky played their Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh, good Lord.
That's what that's what you always get to say, right? Even as only when you're the losing team. If you're the winning team, it's super cringe.
So if Oklahoma wins, no, just kidding.
I mean, a lot of coaches got a lot of heat. Venables somehow dodged a lot of criticism. They lost 55-0 last year. Like, can y'all imagine losing to your biggest rival 55-0? Like, we've looked bad. It was 42-20 against Georgia and 42-35 against FSU. If we lost 55-0, Napier would not have made it out of year one.
We lost to Oklahoma 77-0 in 2003.
This was last year. Deion didn't get no heat. We ain't talking about Deion. This is. I can't believe you just brought Deion up, Adrian. We made it this long without talking about Deion Sanders, and you brought him up over nothing. Moving on.
He said, no, we're not going there.
You have to be on a winning streak from another conference for us to talk about you. Being on a 2-game losing streak, get out of here.
Gotta go. Let's see, Arkansas and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss by 90, probably.
I'm going Arkansas.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Chaos.
I also think that Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin in particular has shown a propensity to struggle to put two good games together in a row. Last year, when they were like 6-0, 7-0, whatever, they immediately started shitting the bed. Like, if there's even the slightest amount of expectations placed on Ole Miss, they lose. Also, I mean, Arkansas almost beat LSU. Like, I'm not a big transitive property guy. Like, it's one of the more annoying things to me where it's like, oh, my team only beat that team by this amount of points, but that team beat them by this number of points. They're like, it doesn't work like that. Like, Arkansas gave LSU
transitive wins over Texas. Leave me alone. No, just kidding.
I mean, it's fair. I think it's annoying when it's like, oh, they put up 500 yards and we only did 400. We're gonna lose. Like, shut up! It doesn't work like that. But I mean, Arkansas had LSU against the ropes. Like, you guys had them. I mean, obviously they came back and they marched down the field and won at the end of the game, but it was 31-31. Like, it's not like LSU blew you guys off the field. And I think Ole Miss is going to be really geared up. I think that their defense still sucks. And I think Danny, he's got some ideas. I've emailed him a few ideas.
Maybe quarterback sneak on 4th and 1.
Yeah, quarterback sneak. He's a large human. Like, just push him.
Very large human.
I think if they get a fire lit under them, then there's something going on.
It's a rivalry. I mean,
they gotta want it.
Yeah.
So you're saying they didn't want to beat A&M?
I mean, if they come out and Ole Miss runs through them, I mean, Sam Pittman, we got Corey Raymond in the orange and blue. We just need to start collecting old legendary SEC assistant coaches.
You're
Sam Pittman
now?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Nobody ever thought Corey Raymond would leave LSU until Brian Kelly decided he didn't want to keep the best DB coach of all time on staff. So Florida's like, okay, I guess. Which, maybe he's washed up. I don't know. Our defense has kind of sucked under him. So we'll see.
Every time I think of defensive assistants, I think of Terry Price. And I think that. Sad days.
Sad days.
R.I.P. Terry Price. Anyway.
That's what a bummer to go out on, Shelby.
No, our guys keep posting like DeMarvin Leal posted a video that he had gotten of Terry Price after the Arkansas game. And I was like, DeMarvin, why are you trying to make people sob on the timeline today? Like, please stop. But it's okay. Anybody have anything else to add?
Log off, touch grass. It's not that serious. Stop tweeting at coaches, players, administrators. Like, recruits don't tweet at people.
Recruits.
Like if you're a grown person sitting on your couch and you see a recruit tweet something, do not reply back to them. You are a 37-year-old individual interacting with a 17-year-old. Leave it alone.
Okay, there are old ads on Facebook because, Cam Coleman went to Colorado this weekend and he was wearing a Colorado sweatshirt at Colorado. And they're like, oh my God, he's leaving us. We hate him. And I'm like, you don't go to another visit and wear an A&M t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. Like, what?
I mean, I saw people telling DJ Lagway that he should decommit. He's like, DJ Lagway has not visited another school since like November of 2022. He has been 100% locked in. He's visited Florida like 15 times. I saw people tweet and tell him he should go somewhere else because we lost. Just because we lost. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? The only way you're going to win is to bring in some good-ass players. And now you lose, and you're telling the good players, don't come here. Like, I give up on social media. I'm logging off. I'm going to go touch some grass.
Somebody posted that picture of Cam Coleman. He was like on his phone at the Colorado game. We were like, he's watching the A&M game.
Oh my God.
And I was like, maybe he is. Like, would you blame him?
Copium.
Like, would you blame him? But like, even if he does end up going to Colorado or whatever, good for him. Like, I don't hang my emotions on the decisions of 18-year-old boys.
Right.
Same. Like, I if I'm being honest, when Cormani McLean picked Miami last year, like I was genuinely like, oh shit. Like, we got trolled so fucking hard by this dude. And then I moved on with my life. Right. And then he's at Colorado. He didn't even end up at Miami. Right. So like, I was like, damn, that sucks. After that, the only person that would make me feel like any kind of emotional anything would be if DJ Lagway left. Like, he's actually like possibly the savior of Florida football. I know it's a lot of pressure to put on a kid who's not even enrolled yet. If he decommits, like, y'all will have to we'll have to do like a ceremony or something.
A ceremony.
Yeah, I'll have to like burn like some sage or something. I'm serious.
This is fine. Oh my lord. Okay, Cindy, do you have anything to add besides that?
Not really. I
Do you
hope
have
my spirits are higher after this weekend, but we'll see.
Do you have a recruit that we need to have a ceremony for?
Nope.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
Have you seen the kid? I want to say he's from Georgia, but he paid for a billboard. His name was something Bear something or another. But he paid for a billboard in Arkansas for Sam Pittman to recruit him as an offensive lineman.
Yes.
I'll look it up. You've seen it? Okay.
Yeah, and then the guy committed.
Yeah. So I think that'd have to be your guy, right? Like
Probably.
he seems to really love Sam.
Yeah, apparently.
well, I mean,
We'll
if Sam
see.
gets fired,
Yeah, we'll see.
if Sam gets fired, I don't even know. I couldn't I get excited about recruits, but I could besides Cam Coleman, I couldn't tell you like just a name off the top of my head.
I get excited about recruits and then I forget about them.
Exactly.
See, I follow recruiting way too closely. Like I am the opposite end of the spectrum. I could name. You guys could pull up the recruit list for Florida, and I can name every recruit on our list. And that's sad. I'm not proud of that. That's
well,
that's who I am. I can. I've been like that for like 15 years now. Like I love it. It's so interesting to me. I have so many stories. Like Ducati would always talk about how like I knew all the players on Georgia's roster and stuff. Like I know the players on a lot of y'all's roster too because I follow recruiting. And like when they're down, it's like I have a top 5 of these schools, and then they commit somewhere else. You still remember that recruitment. Like you still remember them, at the ceremony putting on the hat and then being like, just kidding, and then putting on the other hat. You're like, fuck that kid. But it sticks with you, like you remember that. Like even if it's not our school, like there was some dude from he's at Tennessee now, but we weren't even recruiting him. And he did that. Like we didn't even offer him a scholarship. And he did the hat thing to us. And everybody was just like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, like I eat that shit up. That's why like I can name I know way too much about 17-year-old recruits. Like I don't tweet at them though. Like that's the thing is like I follow it from a distance. Like a healthy, well-adjusted adult does.
Oh, well adjusted is debatable.
You're not wrong.
That I meant that with all the love in my heart.
I mean, you're not wrong. I can't even debate it.
I am most excited at this point for Walter Nolan to come with us back to Knoxville and kill Tennessee.
They're gonna throw stuff.
I'd like to see. Tennessee has already started A&M Hate Week because they have bye week this week. So we're like, don't worry, we can multitask. I can hate Alabama and Tennessee at the same time. I'm real good at that. Matt will have you believe that Tennessee is the reason that Texas is still a thing. And I'm like, okay, well, they also came to Texas, helped Texas win that war, and then said, you may all go to hell and I will go to Texas. So they didn't want to go back.
I don't want to go to either one of those places.
Giggling.
Go Gators.
I saw that.
Just quick little thumb up.
Hey, that's a universal sign, okay?
No, it's not. Not in this house.
Didn't I have to teach you what gigging them meant?
Yes. Frog gigging.
Yeah.
I know what that means. I'm the one that told you the story.
You didn't even know what a gig was. Get out of here, Shelby. We have a video. We have it on video of you not knowing what it was and me explaining it to you.
Okay.
I am the true Aggie here. You're a pretender. You don't even know what your own catchphrase means.
Okay. Tell me the story of the Wildcat then, Ethan.
It's too late. I got to get to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Yeah, catch me next time on that one. I'll do some light reading.
Oh, if you have to read, you're doing it wrong.
That's that. Now that should be the slogan of every Texas A&M fan.
You have to
If
read.
you have to read, you're doing it wrong.
Damn it.
Good night, y'all.
Y'all
I'm going to end on that note.